my God. Even watching it last night, I narrated it on Instagram for Mel because she's not seen the whole thing, so she got a whole experience. And then I saw when I was searching for it online, that there's like a weird like made for TV type HBO special that they've done recently, like last year. And from what I can tell, it's based on the stage show.
Okay.
Because people have started singing in it, and I was like, well, this is shit. But now I've watched the original, I feel okay about it. Like, I've started watching the shit one and kind of getting into it. Even Dirty Dancing 2, I enjoy.
Yeah.
Dirty Dancing 2, Havana Nights, based in Cuba.
Presuming Patrick Swayze's not in Dirty
He does a cameo. I don't enjoy it, though, because he's older.
What?
I just like to picture him as Johnny Castle forever, and that's who he is.
Never watched Donnie Darko, then?
No, I don't want to. I've never seen it either. I don't intend to watch it. It looks scary.
Patrick Swayze's in it. Looks fine. Like, he looks good.
Does he look like Patrick Swayze dancing in Dirty Dancing good, though? Like, it's the
like
character.
Progression of it, though. Like, he looks like he could be that guy, but older. However, he plays a paedophile.
It's just him. There is something about the way he's like that wounded, gentle... Oh, I don't know what it is. That's probably why everything's so fucked up.
Either way, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I was trying to think how long it was. Like, it was summer last time.
It was as hot as this last time. Because you had to put the fan on. Because you were
I did have to put the fan on, yeah. I remember that.
I'd been for a walk in the morning and I felt rough.
Yeah.
Because I'd been out in the walk in like 20-something degree heats.
I think that heat kind of came out of nowhere, that one. Because we was like stupidly warm.
It was the start of the, like, essentially the heat wave. So it was right at the beginning of it. So was it like was it July? It was about a year, I think.
Yeah.
It must have been about a year.
Exactly. Maybe.
Wouldn't that be spooky? Like,
maybe.
Almost.
Maybe. I mean,
like
it's not going to go up for a couple of weeks. So it might be. I'll have to look it up.
We'll have to look, see what day it was.
Have to
when
look
it was.
But last time you were here, we discussed books.
Yeah.
At length.
My true love.
And I didn't read any of those which you recommended.
I've got a whole bookshelf that one entire shelf is dedicated to books to read.
Okay.
But then I also have a hidden bit, which is in my spare room, of a wall of books to read.
Books to read.
So I don't get through them as quickly as I'd like to.
I feel quite sad in saying I haven't read a book this year.
Haven't you? I do the Goodreads challenge. So you can set yourself like a how many you want to read in a year.
Okay.
And I totally failed on mine last year. Like, I did very poorly last year. Whereas this year I was kind of determined to keep on track. So I set myself 50 books. I'm at 21.
That's
which works out all right. Yeah, but I missed, I think I missed about 3 weeks. But when I was on holiday, I read 5. So...
See, yeah, that's what I do. Like, I don't read in general. I'll read comics. Like, I'll read graphic novels and stuff like that. But then I'll go on holiday and I'll read, 5 books.
Yeah, because you have the time and you get into it and you're not interrupted by things or people or anything.
Noise.
Yeah, noise or distractions like your TV or, oh, I should do this or I should do the ironing or I should do this or boring stuff like that. You don't get distracted, you can just focus on it.
No day-to-day.
Yeah, so I got a lot done then. But my friend set herself, I think this year, because she surpassed herself last year, I think she set herself 70 or 75. But she's at about 40.
How?
I don't know. She has a full-time
job.
She has a full-time job. But, every time I look, she's just smashing through them. She's like, oh, read that. I'm like, how do you do it?
I mean,
how?
I kind of get that in the sense of people ask me how I do, as much art as I do.
Yeah, well,
and it's
yeah.
just because I fill all my free time with it. So I guess if she does nothing else, just job and reads.
Just job, reads. Yeah,
reads on lunch breaks, reads on the drive.
No, well, she has a guinea pig and a fiance, so...
A neglected guinea pig fiance.
Oh, don't say that. One of the guinea pigs died recently. Heathcliff didn't make it. Mr. Darcy's still alive,
but... to feed it because she was reading.
No, she was devastated. They have a 2-story hutch. Well, they did.
2-story hutch.
Mr. Darcy now has a 2-story mansion essentially to himself.
I mean, tragedy happens even to middle-class guinea pigs.
Oh.
Usually to middle-class guinea pigs. Especially with those character names.
Oh.
There's got to be a tragic death, midway.
Oh, I know. It's kind of fitting. Oh, poor Heathcliff.
Suitably Poetic.
Luckily, we went for a walk where his namesake's from, so it was like a fitting tribute to his untimely demise.
Should have taken him and buried him.
Oh my god, could you imagine? That would be quite something.
Just,
on a Bronte walk. Don't mind us, everyone. We're on the Pennines. We're just burying a guinea pig.
I mean,
well,
if you're going to bury something,
that is the milkshake that brings all the boys to the yard, is burying guinea pigs on the moors.
That's what the Tinder profile says.
That's it. There's no pictures except for a guinea pig.
Just one guinea pig. I'd probably swipe for a guinea pig.
Would you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't on Tinder, but Tinder's just...
I like it when people do something weird. You know, like where they're like, oh, well, I have no picture. And I'm like, ooh.
No.
You have no picture.
See, you go, oh, no picture. I think he could murder me.
Maybe I just want to go down that rabbit hole.
You're willing to take the risk.
That would make life interesting.
The next people, you can only swipe on people who do not have anything.
Yeah, I always swipe on people who don't have anything. Why are you so shocked?
Because
they don't have my details as soon as I do it.
Yeah, but it shows zero care and attention.
It's full of care and attention. I'm swiping because they don't have a picture.
No.
Because I'm like, I want more information.
No.
You're clearly not wanting to give it away. And that's like, oh my God, I need to know more.
Oh my God. Am I giving too much away? Well, that actually sounds like me. Oversharing is quite my thing, so... Well, no, I can't be asked with apps and profiles and shit anymore.
That does bring us round to our topic.
It does, yeah.
Which we suggested we'd discuss in Dating 103.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the third one we'll have done. First one was with Mel.
Yeah.
Which was an introduction to dating.
Yeah.
Because I had only just started dating.
At
the time and didn't know anything about it.
I'm a veteran.
And then the second one was with Chris, who's a friend of mine, Chris Mudd, and we discussed selfies and self-esteem and apps, kind of.
Yeah.
Just that whole idea of apps and how people see themselves within it.
It's quite something.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice though, because I've got like a staggered,
as
you say, veteranism. Like, Mel had been dating for a bit, but she was introducing me. Chris has been dating for a while.
I've been dating for some
You've been
time.
dating for
I've
some
been
time.
dating like a decade probably.
A decade.
Yeah. I mean, I was
How old are
weird.
you?
I am 29. Like, I was weird at school, so...
That's a barrier.
I was like... I mean, I've embraced the kind of short, fat kid, like, thing now. It works for me. Yeah. I'm okay with this. But at 14... in like the early 2000s, people weren't really into that.
No.
People really weren't feeling that. So I didn't really, when people are like, oh, did you have a boyfriend at school then? I'm like, no. I'm like, I was like a weird, sweaty, like bookie, talk too much, was kind of smart, but not really. Like, I was just kind of hiding, essentially, in order to just get through.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a null and void. And then people did that thing where they're like, oh, when you go to university, that'll be your time. And I thought, brilliant, I'm off to university. This is my time. It was not my time, Graham.
Your white girl voice is spot on, by the way. Like,
is it?
That accent you've That'll be your time.
Be your time. Fucking hate that phrase. Next year's going to be your year. It fucking isn't.
I hate that.
I hate
Year's.
that. I'm like,
this is my year.
This is my year. No, it's fucking not. It is just riddled with disappointments, that. It genuinely is. I hate it. It frames it in a weird way.
Annualise it as well, though. Like,
yeah.
It's like, it has to happen between January and December. So it can't happen July to July.
No, I get really stressed out around my birthday because I have totally disregarded New Year. I'm not a New Year's person. No. And I also do not like the pressure of it. It stresses me out. I just think, carry on as you are. Let's not set ourselves up some crazy goals that you're going to fail at and then feel shit about 5 minutes later. Yeah. But when it comes around to my birthday, I think, oh, okay, new age, new me, right, okay, let's do this. I'm at a new age. And then I'm really sad about it for a while. So my birthday, I always get really, like, stressed and awful. And I just feel shit because I'm like, oh, no, I've achieved nothing in the last year. So rather than getting it in January, I get it in about start May. Yeah, May's not great for me because I always just get like, I've achieved nothing. When in reality, I have. Yeah. I've achieved many things. Just you focus on the things you haven't achieved in that year.
Yeah, you also focus on the things which you kind of you remember or were different to like your day to day.
Yeah.
Like you could do the same job every day for 2 years and gradually progress through it and do all the kinds of things. But then you get to the end of it and you're like, I've done nothing. It's like, well, actually, you worked really hard for like 2 years, but it's second nature to you now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
that
matter.
you don't. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not. It feels inconsequential.
Yeah, because you didn't go out and do something different.
Yeah, and do something different.
Yeah.
Sorry, back to the original starting of my dating life. So I suppose I started dating at uni, so like 18, 19. And I used dating loosely. Like, I was in a new world of like, oh, drunk people find me attractive. Okay, this is my jam.
Okay.
I'd like to qualify, I had very low self-esteem at that point because I was like, great, male validation, that is what I need at 19 to make me feel like this is not a horrible experience.
I mean, I think everyone does.
Yeah, I think you just feel horrible at 19. You just don't know what you're doing.
Like 13 to 25,
yeah.
I'd say is about the period of everyone just like, fuck, I'm awful.
Yeah, I was about to say it because some people go, oh, you know, when you're 21, I'm like, fuck that. I'm like, it took me till about 26 to be like, all right.
I'd say 26 is about the cutoff.
Okay.
I'd say 26, like 26 to 30.
Yeah.
You settle.
Yeah, I've
whatever
mellowed.
you're doing.
Yeah, I've kind of mellowed into my life now.
Yeah.
Yeah, up until that point now, it's just...
It's chaos.
It's chaos. It is. It's absolute chaos because you're constantly wanting validation from other things and being told you need that validation from other things. Yeah. And particularly, you know, if men don't find you attractive, well, you're of no value. And you're like, well, fuck, quick. I need to figure that out.
I find it interesting, like, what you're saying, like, being weird at school.
Yeah.
The amount of people I meet who were like, yeah, people just didn't get it at school. And I'm like, well, no, some of us were just weird. Like, we pushed people away.
Oh.
Like, I was a goth kid.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not like, I can appreciate why I didn't have many dates in high school.
I can appreciate it too.
Like, you look back at it and you go, no, that's, like I was being weird. Yeah, like, purposefully and with, you know, good intent. But I was being weird. Yeah. You know?
I mean, I look back and I think, yeah, I probably wouldn't have even... I wouldn't have... I was kind of hiding out in a group that most of them kind of didn't really like me, but it was enough to kind of be hidden. But I was not deemed... I didn't even go out that much because we lived in a village, so I couldn't go and do all the things that the others did. And that was desperately sad at the time. But looking back, I'm like, bravo, parents, well done for parenting correctly. And I just wasn't part of anything. Yeah. And I was just weird.
I mean, I'm still weird now.
Well, I mean, we're all weird now, but we're okay with it.
Yeah, but like, that's the thing, like, I feel like other adults are more accepting of it as well when you get to this age.
But also because you all look at each other and go, oh, we were all around. We were just separated in other ways. Things. We were just doing different things. And then we went, well, we were a bit weird. And we've sort of realised...
It's like, it was a bit odd. I'm kind of happy I didn't get killed.
Yeah, it's kind of in that phrase of, like I said, you know, you mellow into yourself a bit. You kind of just lean into it, but not as extremely, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a phrase.
I think, like, there's a...
Or you become okay with the things that you used to think, oh, that makes me weird.
Yeah.
And other people see it as weird.
Yeah.
But actually... As an adult, you're like, oh, I was just interested in something like a lot.
Yeah.
Like I was super into.
My life.
I was super into like musicals for quite a long time. Like I just thought they were really interesting, and then looking back, I was like, well, no wonder it was a bit weird. Like it doesn't. But then now I'm like, it's just something I enjoy. You learn not to feel guilty about it.
What concerns me is when I meet like 25-year-old and up people who are purposely trying to be weird. You know, like when you see on profiles,
I don't know if anybody just captured the giant eye roll that happened.
It's like
where my eyes went.
It's when you see people and like their profile says intellectual or random. I'm extremely random. I'm like, oh no.
Fuck off. That's the sort of thing you said on your like MSN profile when you were like 12. I'm so random. I'm just so random, guys. But I'm totally conforming, but I'm a little bit random, so you think I'm a bit cool.
You catch me eating avocados on the bus. It's like, all right.
So you fucking waste your money on an avocado.
Eat a block of cheese in the supermarket. You know, what am I gonna do?
I'd rather eat a block of cheese. Both would make my stomach awful. So either way, I'm not going to be doing that.
Yeah, I'm just picking all the lactose products.
Lactose.
Why not?
I just have a weird thing with avocado. It gives me really bad stomach ache. Like it makes me feel like a little like child.
I don't understand the
I'm like, oh, it hurts. I like it. I just can't eat it. My mum gets it too. I don't know what it is. Well, we've digressed.
Back to 19-year-old.
Sad 19-year-old Jenny. I don't know what was going on. It was a mess, and I was definitely a mess.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm not now. I'm just more aware and have been through a lot more that has pushed me to come out the other side a bit and be okay with kind of being a mess sometimes, and also coping a lot better. Like, you know, I was at uni, didn't know I had anxiety or anything like that. So I was just going out, getting drunk, doing all these things, and then probably hiding away for a few days. Yeah. And I look back, I'm like, that's not okay. And it wasn't okay. No. But dating-wise, I remember the first ever date I went on. I was thinking about this the other day, and I can remember it so well.
Ooh, do tell.
I was on my way back from a night out. So I went to uni in Chester.
Okay.
And I was walking back on my own because, as I want to do in life, and drunk Jenny is just a heightened version of me. She's determined to do it all on her own. She's like, I'm leaving now, and I'm going on my own. So I was walking back from what I think it was a student night out at this, oh God, what was it called? It was literally just a big room with a few bars in, but it was where everybody went on a Wednesday night because it was like £1.20 or something for a double vodka Red Bull. Yeah. 2009.
Inflation.
Yeah. To be a fresher then. And I remember I went past the arches. So in Chester, there's these arches with the clock on.
Okay.
And my shoes were hurting me, so I sat myself on the ground. Bearing in mind it was like 2 a.m, sat myself on the ground, started taking my shoes off. And then this guy came up to me, who had been at the student night. And he was like, are you all right? Do you want to should I walk you back? And I was like, yeah, all right, nice person, walk me back. Because I lived on the main student street as well.
Right, okay.
So we were walking back, and then he asked me out on a date. And I was like, yes. And I went on this date, and I remember being like, we watched an Adam Sandler movie, right? And I can
already see this day going downhill.
We were watching an Adam Sandler movie. I was drinking wine, and it was the really cheap wine that you get from Tesco bottom shelf. And
you're a student, you're not going to buy classy wine, are you?
And I'd forgotten about the Adam Sandler thing, because that, and at least a couple of other times before that, when I'd either been had first experiences of stuff or anything like that, there had been an Adam Sandler film playing.
Wait, are you saying that Adam Sandler is the soundtrack to your love life?
Kind of, he was at the beginning. Because oh my God. When I was in...
Definitely need to forward this to Adam Sandler.
Well, I can't remember where I was, but I had one of my first kind of sexual experiences, and Happy Gilmore was on in the background.
I mean, that's a great film.
It's a great film. Yeah. What were we watching at this one? I think we watched potentially 50 First Dates on this other one.
That's a terrible film.
I
in the Adam Sandler collection, that's
I wonder, and I think I might have watched The Wedding Singer in between there with someone else, but I can't remember who. But I remember thinking, it's weird, this is the third Adam Sandler where this sort of thing has happened. And just being really like, why is Adam Sandler always on in the background?
Just gets people going.
Well, I didn't think he did, but there we go. Surprise!
Unless it's because Adam Sandler films
it was of the time.
So you just get bored and then start doing it.
It was funny. I'm trying to remember the other one. Oh, I can't remember. Happy Gilmore was one, 50 First Dates was another, and I can't remember the other. It might have been The Wedding Singer, because I love that film.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, what?
Really? I've seen the beginning of that film, where it's gets kicked out. Or
it's the first Adam Sandler I ever saw, and it's probably still my favourite.
See, mine was Little Nicky.
Oh, yeah, that is good. I watched the new one on Netflix, Murder Mystery. And him and Jennifer Aniston, there is something so comforting about watching them that it's just watching
they're 90s relics.
You just know what's going to happen, and they just work so well together, and I just love it. It makes me happy.
I always think with Adam Sandler, in any film he's in, he's always punching above his weight in terms of the person they put across from. It's here's Adam Sandler, and it's okay, so we need
Jennifer Aniston looks no different. No different.
No.
Just any film, she looks no different, and she's
Adam
incredible.
Sandler just looks fat.
Well, I mean, he looks good.
You see him in Happy Gilmore, he is skinny.
He's dad bod in it.
I mean, he's broke, but he's skinny.
He's dad bod in it. I feel like I've got a special place for Adam Sandler films, and now I know why. I'd forgotten about that, and as I was talking about it, I thought, oh yeah, I've forgotten that was a thing. And I think it happened after that as well. Because I remember finding it really funny,
Yeah.
but it was always Adam Sandler. Oh my god. Maybe I just don't need to putting Adam Sandler's on and opening my like balcony doors and just gesturing people in.
Back to your first
What light through yonder window breaks? It's an Adam Sandler film. Come on.
Just have a little GIF just constantly playing in your window. See how many people turn up.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use it to indicate what kind of relationship you wanted.
Oh, what, like,
So
whichever
You
film?
could put like the one where it's like a stepdad.
Oh, Big Daddy.
And he's like, you know, you want something
I
serious, like kids,
love that as
blah,
well.
blah, blah, blah.
That was one of my favourite films ever.
Put on Little Nicky, you want something a bit naughty,
Bit
but maybe a bit
weird.
wholesome at
Oh,
times.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good one to put on, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put Little Nicky up for a while, but then maybe that will bring in some different kind of people, because only a few people will probably understand that.
You put on Click, you just want trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd put, like, the wedding singer him up with, like, his hair, his big curly hair or something. It's, like, 80s style.
Yes. Attract that.
Put out what you want to attract.
Exactly.
Manifest.
Adam Sandler of the world.
I don't really even like him that much, but...
I think he's a mesmerising person because he's made money
Yeah.
making films with his friends.
Yeah.
And that's all he does now.
But then if you look at a lot of films, though, like,
Yeah.
look at the, like, the Anchorman kind of crew.
Yeah.
They're always popping up in each other's stuff all the time. Judd, what's his face? Apatow. Him.
I thought you were about to say Judd Hirsch.
I don't know who that is.
I think he's like a judge or something. I don't know, he's like a lawyer. It comes up in American like pop culture quite a lot. They'll be like, oh, Judd Hirsch. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. But everyone seems to know who he is.
Oh, whatever.
He might be an actor.
I don't know who he is.
You-
Anyway.
Back to your first date.
Back to my first date.
Segued.
Do you know what, though? I got drunk. And I remember some things happening. And then I remember him saying something that I think kind of offended me at the time.
Okay.
I know. I think it was to do with my kissing technique, which looking back is a fair point to make because I probably wasn't that experienced. But at the time, I remember being horrified that I got on a date with someone who's saying something about my kissing technique while kissing me. And I thought, well, that's my cue to leave. Even then, I was like, yeah, I don't need that kind of noise.
Yeah.
And I think I've always been like that. I don't know whether it comes from having a big family or something.
How does that correlate? Having a big family and someone insulting your kissing technique?
Right. If you would let me explain. Is that not that? Like, no, it's the not really being like, it doesn't matter if they don't like me.
Okay.
Because I have other people.
Right, okay.
I had it in my brain. It was a logical step to make.
Right.
But you did not
the
follow
time.
my logical step there, did you?
No, I didn't.
No. And now it feels like a bit weird that I've said it like that.
Yeah.
That seems weird and now I feel odd.
Clarifying, there's no correlation.
But yeah, I remember that. I remember being devastated though that it had just mortified, absolutely mortified, as you would be.
Yeah.
Oh, but looking back, he probably was correct. Like, it probably was not great. Like, I wasn't very experienced. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was 19.
Yeah.
I'd come from a Catholic school where, you know, they're like, no, don't have sex. That's the only way to do this. You just don't have sex. Do not do it. It's not good for you. You'll get a disease.
Yeah.
That's it.
If you do it the Catholic way, you would definitely.
Well,
Yeah.
and the thing is, I was weird. So obviously I just didn't.
It's like the triple threat.
Oh God, I know. Poor guy. So I remember that being a date, and I remember I didn't really date that much after that. I think I would just go out and things like that, but I wasn't really dating, or I wouldn't call it dating. And I don't think I was dating until I was probably in my like I'd go on a few dates, but nothing like massive. But actual active dating would probably be my like early 20s, maybe 2021, probably after I left uni. Because I think when I turned about 23, Tinder had just appeared.
Okay.
And I mean, it was whether it was a thing.
Tinder that was that old. Like...
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it, and it was, or maybe when I was 23 going on 24.
Okay.
So like 2013, 14.
3-4 years ago.
Yeah. 3-4 years ago. Try like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that. I'm old.
I know. And I can remember because one of my friends was talking about it, and we were still like, well, this is a bit weird. Like, we're not really sure what it is and how it all worked. But I remember that being a revelation. It was like being at a singles bar. and
It
everybody
still is a
wanted to kind of
revelation.
date each other.
Yeah.
Now it's a seedy ass place for me to be because I'm older, because my remit has moved. So I feel like when I first started using it as well, it was the only one.
Yeah.
It was the only apps that was out there.
Yeah.
So people were genuinely on there. Like, I've got a lot of friends who've met their really significant others. They are married to them now. It's a different kind of vibe now.
Yeah.
It's developed completely, and it's kind of used in other ways now, which is cool. Everything moves on, and there's different apps for different things. But it was the first kind of one of its kind where you were like, oh, God, there are a lot of single people around. And you were like, oh my God, there are single people about.
Those adverts I've been seeing have not been lying
and
to me.
I'm like, what? What are these people? And I was matching with people, and I was like, the ego boost was fantastic at the time. It was just great.
I remember that because I'd been in a relationship for, I'm going to say 8 years, but that's wrong.
Okay.
It was technically 5.
Okay.
However, we dated on and off through uni, and I classed that as kind of, like, because that was the thing, like, you're in uni, neither of us really dated, we just hooked up with each other.
I'm going to admit something now. That is, I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, probably a bad thing, and there's probably a lot of other people like this, but my longest relationship was literally like 4 months.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't think that's a bad thing, though.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing anymore. I used to think it was a bad thing, and I was kind of like, oh, I'm kind of embarrassed to say. But now I'm like, well, no, because if I think something isn't going to work or isn't going to be right, I'm not sitting in it.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting my time.
I think that, though, is partially due, like, because it's interesting that, like, I always feel like that's due to our age. Because we're both nearly 30. We kind of get in that mindset of, if I'm not feeling it,
what's the point?
I'm not going to waste 5 years to find out it's wrong. Or even waste like 6 months, because I'm like 6 months down the line, I don't have to start again.
I can't be doing with wasting more than a month. Yeah. I'm kind of like, and I think if you vibe with someone, I think if you can vibe with someone. Not to say that you vibe with them and then it's going to go into like a long-term relationship, but you can tell really easily with chemistry, because if you've done online dating as well, like, I used to get a lot of my friends say to me, oh, but you don't give it enough chance. Like, genuinely, my own dad is like, nah, you kind of like one date Jenny. And not in like a weird way. You can tell
after a date, though.
But you can tell after a date. But everybody thought I was being really like dismissive and picky and like, oh no, not for me. Oh, not feeling it. And they're like, you're not giving it a chance. I'm like, when you meet someone for the first time, and I trust my gut instinct on a lot of this. I'm generally right on it, which is annoying, because like when I'm like, oh, it's going well, I'm like, oh, I don't feel good about this. And I'm like, oh, it's all going to go shit. And then like an hour later, you're like, nah, it's all gone fucking shit. Yeah. And I forgot what I was saying. Where was I?
See whether you like someone.
Yeah. And people would be like, you're not giving them a chance, not giving it. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll give these people a chance. And then I'd have to waste another 30 quid going on a second date to prove my point.
My theory is like, I shouldn't, like, it sounds ego to say, but I don't feel like I should have to work to like someone.
No,
that's how
I
view
am
it.
Completely the same. I don't think I should have to work to be like, well, let's express our needs and let's do this that early on in something. Then, 5 years down the line, but not like in the first couple of months even. It should be easy.
There should be something there at least, which makes you want to carry on.
Yeah, that makes you like, I want to keep talking to that person. I want to see that person naked. I want to go and like to the park or something. It's all that kind of stuff where you're like, it doesn't have to be either like, I want to talk to this person constantly all the time. I think getting older, you realise you're like, I have my own life and I'm really happy with my own life.
I prefer that. Like, where you meet someone and they're like, no, I have a life. And
yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. Message me in a couple of days.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And I think because I'm quite a chatty person, this seems to be a thing that crops up quite a lot for me, which is because I'm a chatty person. I like to talk to people, but I would never be like, I can't believe you didn't talk to me for a couple of days, whatever. You've got a fucking life. Go and live your life, because I am busy.
Messages in the worst way, though. I'm just going to call that out. Like,
I'm not even joking. My friends are all like, well, we know it's you, because there's 9 conversational messages.
You could send everything in one message, but you choose to send it in 9.
No, because I'm thinking it as I'm saying it. I've not considered what the message is. I'm like,
if I hear my phone buzz, and then it buzzes 3 more times, I'm like, that's probably Jen.
Oh, I'm sorry. But this is it, is that I then think I'm just a, like, naturally talky person.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me if someone's like, oh, I'm seeing my friends, I'm doing this, and I'm like, you don't need to tell me. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because I am also doing things. Like, I do a lot of stuff in the evenings. I very rarely have time free.
Yeah.
So for me as well, to make time for someone, I'm like, make time for me as well.
Yeah.
Because I think, again, the older you get, you have your own life. And if someone makes time for you, you're like, all right, okay, let's see what happens. But it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be work to like someone.
Yeah.
At the beginning, which is why I hate when people go, oh, I'll give them a second chat.
But then, like, I thought this was due to our age.
No.
That we're kind of like this. But then I've met younger people now who are like, they won't even go on a first date. Like, they'll match with people.
Yeah.
And they'll go, cool, match. They'll talk for like a month. They'll still be talking. And I'm like,
Ooh.
why haven't you met up with this person yet? And it's like, because I'm not really sure. And I'm like, but you could just...
Meet them and then be sure. Yeah.
And I think it's because they want to maintain the fantasy.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, like that ego boost when you get like that first match, they're like, no, I just want to maintain that they could be interested in me.
They could be interested in me. And then you have to deal with the consequence of not being interested in each other. And then that kind of idea is gone. Yeah.
Whereas at our age, we're like, no, let's meet.
Do you know what though? That's what I was like when I was younger.
Yeah?
That is what I was like. I was absolutely like happy to talk. I remember one guy I talked to for like 2.5 months or something ridiculous like that. And then it got to the end of the 2.5 months and I can't remember what I said to him. And he was like, yeah, I just wish I was really in the position to date you properly, but I'm just not. And I was like, well, what the fuck have we been doing for 2.5 months then? I was like, what the hell? Yeah. I was like, we talk all the time. And he said it, he was like, yeah, just, you know, I used to get this all the time. And I still kind of get it now, which is, do you know what? You're the kind of girl I could date, but I'm just not there at the moment. And you're like... That is so irritating to me because what was the point?
You know, my favourite line,
what?
Which I've received multiple times from people is, no, I feel like I just need to be selfish right now. And I'm like,
you can be selfish and also date people.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, I just need to focus on me and be selfish and have my life. Like, you can still do that and like have friends and relationships. That's called being an adult.
As well, the one I get a lot, and I don't know whether this is you as a guy get this or it's just a me thing or it's just a woman thing. I don't know.
Okay.
But I always get I just don't think I'm what you want. Like, I don't think I'm what you want. And it's like, stop fucking telling me what I want. And the amount of people that go, I know that you want this, and I know that you want that, and I know that you need this. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, I don't know what I want almost all the time.
Yeah.
I genuinely never know what I want. Like, I don't know that, like, I can meet up with someone, go on 2 dates, and I'd be like, oh, let's see where it goes. That doesn't mean I want to, like, have their babies immediately and, like, marry them or something.
Yeah.
It's like, it winds me up something chronic.
Yeah.
That people always say the phrase like, yeah, I know that you want, or I want, like, I'm not what you want. And it's like, I've talked to you for like 3 weeks. I'm not being funny. I've got friends that have known me for a decade who still are like, Jenny, what do you actually want?
Yeah.
Because I am constantly like that. It's just my natural way.
Back and forth, though. I think everyone does.
Yeah. I am naturally very back and forth about what I want, and it's all dependent on what happens in your life, and that's how it works. Something happens, so you go, right, I'm going to do this. Something else happens, you go, all right, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
I find that varies person to person, though, as well.
And I hate it. It's someone telling me what they think I want or what I should think is an absolute bugbear.
Yeah.
How dare you think you know me after talking to me, probably on message, maybe meeting me once or twice.
Yeah.
How dare you? It makes me so mad. I can't even explain.
Which is worse, that
Yeah.
or talking to someone for a few days and then them never replying?
I think that's better.
I think that's worse.
Really? If they're not feeling it, they're not feeling it.
This is the thing. I don't know if it is like it could be a male thing. Like needing factual closure.
Oh, okay.
Because I've spoken to a few people like about it. It's like the idea of being ghosted.
Yeah.
Pisses people off more than someone going, I don't like you for X reason. Like as a person, I'm like, if you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. That's your prerogative.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. You know, you're not feeling it.
Yeah.
Just be blunt with me.
Right. The thing is, right, I'm
Whereas
gonna
just stopping talking, I'm like, what happened?
Yeah. I have had quite a lot, and I would say a sizable amount, where I've said that to someone and been honest about it and said, well, do you know what, I'm not feeling it. I've had shit back from them. I've had real aggression, like verbally. I have had a lot of shit back, and it is safer to just disappear off it, because you don't know what you're going to get back.
Yeah.
Because I would never say anything like really like angry or like I would never say, because as well, I don't know whether this is an adult way of being or not expressing my feelings enough. I don't know. I doubt it's the not expressing my feelings enough. I don't know. We know that already. But I've always been, if a guy turns around to me and says, I'm not feeling it, I don't really want to do this anymore, I will never ever be like, well, why? Or blah, blah. Because that's how they feel.
Yeah, you don't
and
question
I've been like
it.
that. Do you know what? You are absolutely, it's your prerogative to feel how you want to feel. And if that is how you feel, fine.
That's
even if it's shit for me and I'm like, oh, well, that's disappointing, I will be fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, but why? And why? No.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Fine. You changed. Your feelings have changed.
Yeah. It happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
But you can say that to a guy and you will get shit back.
Yeah. I've had that experience with women, though.
Yeah. Well, this is
But
the
I'd
thing.
agree that, like, males can do that and do that because of kind of social conditioning, essentially.
Patriarchy.
Yeah, essentially. That's the word I was looking for. But no, I've had it like, so, you know, where you say, oh no, I'm not kind of interested.
Yeah.
The one which always gets me is, oh, but I was really falling for you. Or I was really getting into you. And I'm like, we've been speaking for a day.
Whoa, you need to chill the fuck out.
Like,
I hate that.
It takes me longer than that to choose
I hate a lot of things.
like a coffee brand or like you're on about no, and I'm yeah. But then like same with people changing.
Yeah.
That's why I don't feel like I could date anyone under a certain age.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you still haven't been through that transitional
period. You are not in this like.
Which I feel like is
where you're okay with your own life and
like condescending.
No, but it's not though. I think people are in different stages of their lives, and I think it's okay to accept that, because I know that now I'm really happy with the way my life is, and the fact that I want someone in my life and to share those things with doesn't mean I'm giving up my life or anything like that. It's a nice thing, but you understand that you both have your own lives and you have all of these other things that come with it. Like we all know we all come with emotional baggage and shit like that now, and that's what you're going into. Whereas at 22, I had no real interest in that either, because I wasn't asked about it at the time. Mm-hmm. Whereas now I'm like, I feel like what you want is more adult and more equal.
Yeah. Anyone not watching the video, there's a strange hand gesture going on.
Well, I know. Now I'm doing it. I realise what it also might look like. And I shall close my hand.
More equal.
More equal.
Equal.
More equal.
That's the thumbnail right there.
Equal. Equality for all. I don't know. I just couldn't date. Although, saying that, I was thinking about this the other day. And I was kind of, as I do, like to process a lot of things.
That's what we do.
By talking it out.
Yeah.
Or writing it down. And I was thinking that people who are like my younger sister age, so she's like 21 now.
Okay.
They are so much more open, the guys, with their emotions and the way they're feeling and the way of processing and the way of dealing even with each other and supporting each other is so different to the guys my age and a little bit older.
Definitely.
So like I've got friends where the guys are in their like mid-30s.
Yeah.
And the way they behave towards each other and about things and in relationships is so different that I'm like, do I date someone younger? Because they are actually emotionally more mature than the guys there, because the ones who are like maybe 40 now are raising kids, and our generation are raising kids to talk about things, and it's okay to be that way, and it's okay to and consent and understanding all of these things, whereas they're kind of stuck in between, like, we were parented by quite, not traditional values, but like my mum was a stay-at-home mum, and it was generally the norm, and the dad was the head of the household and all that kind of stuff. And we were all raised like that, but now we're raising a generation that is the other way, and we are that weird bit in the middle. And I find a lot of guys are kind of hit and miss, where some just are absolutely so heels in, don't know how to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then you also have people that, like, I don't know, they just don't know as well how to process stuff.
Yeah.
But then it's been a learning curve. Like, the only reason I can process stuff as well as I do is because I essentially had, like, a mental breakdown when I was 22.
Yeah.
And I got fired, and I had to process it because I wouldn't have come out of it if not.
Yeah.
So you learn to do it.
You step off that edge and then learn how to deal with the fall.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you absolutely. Or you don't survive it. You have
Yeah.
to process and learn. But for people who've not been through that, or haven't felt like they can move through it in that way,
yeah,
it's a really difficult thing to be like, because for me, I'm really open about that sort of thing, and I talk, and I'm like, when I'm communicating about how my, like, if I'm feeling something, or if I want something, or if I'm expressing a need, it's not a judgmental or a this, or a I can't believe you're like this, or I can't. Yeah. It's just a, this is how I'm feeling right now. There's almost no emotion about that. It's a, this is just how I'm feeling right now. It's okay, but that's how I'm feeling right now. Yeah. But I find that when I express that, I get a lot of shit back, because it's like, well, you're a really emotional person, or like, you're really this. And it's like, no, I'm expressing a valid need. Yeah. And this is kind of an adult thing to do.
Yeah. See, like, because that's, I mean, it's weird. I mean, how do I phrase it? How do I start that sentence?
Phrase it.
No, so I was going to say, like, it's interesting, like, with younger guys, I've found, I can see the difference. So, like, talking to people my age, if I talk to guys my age who are having a problem, I literally have to tell them, you can come talk to me.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a problem, you are struggling, come talk to me.
Yeah.
That is fine. And then they will.
Yeah.
And that's kind of thing, or they won't. Whereas I've had younger guys, as you say, just open up.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like for younger guys, there's a balance, though.
Yeah.
Because you either get someone who is so open.
Yeah.
So open, like heart on the sheet, everything. Or so misogynistic and closed.
Yeah.
That you're like, I don't know that they still make you.
Yeah. Like...
And there's like...
Where have you come from?
There's no middle ground anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they've gone one extreme to another. Whereas, like... all my people my age, they've tempered. Yeah,
I feel like people are tempering out, and I think people our age are kind of like that, because I feel like so many people I know, we've all been through a lot of shit, like, and we have made ourselves, like, kind of just have to deal with our shit.
I feel like it's weird though, like, I think a lot of people kind of come across as they can't believe how much they went through in their 20s. Whereas I'm sat there going, I feel like that's what your 20s is.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's meant to be.
I wonder, though, if it's an expectation versus reality thing.
It could be.
I grew up thinking, and I'm not going to joke, like, I genuinely thought by 30, I would thought it'd be laughable that I wouldn't be married with kids. I thought by 24, 25... I would be settled down, I'd have a kid on the way, I'd have had a nice job, but, you know, really I'd do it part-time, and I'd just raise kids. Fuck knows what happened. But, like, looking back, I'm like, it is laughable that I thought that. But the expectation versus the reality of what my life is now is so far away from where I ever thought it would be.
Yeah.
Ever. And I feel like, as well, I had a lot go on in the middle of my 20s, which made me feel like I was delayed in doing stuff as well.
Okay, yeah.
Like, it's only taken me till the last couple of years to get into a career that I really enjoy and feel stable and settled, and actually someone, like, give me a chance. Yeah. It's been quite the rocky road. And not the good kind of rocky road, like, you know, with, like, the marshmallow bits in. I don't know.
I'd agree. I think
but
it's hugely generational.
Yeah.
Because this is something I was saying.
We came into it with the economic crisis as well.
We came into the economic crisis, but before, like, I've said this a few times, is like, so our parents never went through a quarter-life crisis because they didn't have an opportunity to.
No.
Because at 22, they'd have a child.
Yeah.
You know, like, my dad was 30 when he had me, but prior to that was my brother at 24 or 25. And so they don't go through a quarter-life crisis, whereas we kind of came in post-Generation X.
Yeah.
We were just starting to change things.
Yeah.
We came in and everyone went, oh shit, I don't know how to deal with any of this. So
and also, we've got no money and there's no jobs.
We've got no money, we've got no jobs, we've got no expectations. I don't want to have a child because I can't afford a child.
I always say you can have now, when people go, oh, when I was married, it's like, we can have one of three. You can either be married, because that costs about 10k.
Yeah.
You can either buy a house.
Yeah.
Or you can have a child.
Yeah.
You cannot do all three in one go. You cannot do all three unless it's over the span of about a 10-year period, unless you have very, very good jobs.
or
you've inherited
don't have
money.
an outside interest.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing. Like, I feel like you can do the marriage, kids, everything, house.
Yeah.
If you don't have something in your life where you're like, I won't make any sacrifice for it.
Yeah.
Like, I could be married, kids, job. If I just went out and went, I don't care about art. My goal is those three things. Yeah. I could go on an app, find someone, meet them, go, you want to have children? We'll have children. Let's go buy a house. And that would be, like, I'm not going to say that it would be easy, but it would be achievable by this time, because I'd have nothing dragging me otherwise. Whereas our generation, because we've been left with so much time, we've all gone, actually, you know what, I kind of want to write, and I don't want to work every day of my life. I don't want to go and just work for the marriage, job, kid thing.
Also, I think, because for a lot of people, they were like, well, we'll, like, our parents' age and stuff, they're like, well, we'll retire at 60, and then we can live off our pensions, and we're like, nah, that's hilarious. Like, what a joke. So we have to find a way to be okay outside of work and to have a balance, to be able to be like, work, just because a lot of people go, oh, well, you work really hard and you do it to enjoy the end effects. We're not going to have that. We don't have that. We generally, the majority of us, hand to mouth sort of situation. Yeah. And we do the best we can. Yeah. So we have to find a way to enjoy it outside of work.
And then the risk, I mean, this is essentially where your stereotypes come from these generations. The risk then is you've got Gen Y coming after us, who have seen what we've done, as we saw what Gen X did. And they're going to the complete extreme of, I don't really want a job. I just want to follow my dream.
Oh, no.
And you kind of sat there watching, like, this is a disaster waiting to happen. And this is why, like, baby boomers hate them.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're like, no, you need job, you need this. It's like, because it's so far removed.
Yeah. We're like this weird middle ground.
I always feel like that.
I know. I am such an on the fence person. Like, I'm always in the middle.
Every generation, though. But I feel like our generation is always in the middle.
Yeah. I feel like we're stuck with that.
90.
Yeah. I feel like we're literally that little really specific.
We got fucked.
We got fucked over because we're stuck. We were stuck by the decisions made by our parents, and our grandparents, who are still alive because of medical miracles,
Love you,
are still,
Love you, but you're costing us money.
Love you all, but don't fucking vote for things that don't fucking affect you, because in about 20 years ago, 20 years ago, you'd have been dead by now.
My gran voted to remain.
Oh.
But she only voted to remain because she was like, it's going to affect you.
I know. My grandparents voted the other way.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, what is wrong with you?
My parents don't vote. At all. I've been through that conversation multiple times. And my parents are just like, no, we don't vote. And I'm like,
oh.
My dad was like, it's not going to affect anything.
Well, maybe not for you, mate.
I was like, Dad, you own your house.
Yeah, I know. This is it. It's like, it's all well and good for people who are like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter to us. Well, that's because you fucking own a house and a car and you don't have any debt and shit like that. What about us who are just about making ends meet? Yeah. Who are just about to, like, try and do things, and you're like, bro, let's cut you off at the knees. Oh, fuck's sake.
I love how people meet people our age and they're like, why are you so cynical? And I'm
like, well,
we have reason to be.
We have so much reason to be. Oh, God. I don't know how it all ties in with dating. I know. Why don't people want to date us, Graham? We're just hilarious and so optimistic about everything.
I mean, it's strange, like, because I made a conscious decision back in February of not dating anyone under a certain age.
Yeah.
That was like a thing which I set out because at the time I met someone who was a couple of years older than me. Yeah. And we started dating. Yeah. And we met up for like a month. Yeah. And then it ended, and it was like a bit disappointing, but say la vie. But like I was at that point, I was like, that date was different to every other day I'd been on in such a good way. Yeah. I was like, I need to aim for that. Yeah. I think I don't know about you, but like there are those dates that you go on. Like I found that I would say 90% of the dates I've been on have been meh. Yeah. There's been some that I've been like, oh, Jesus Christ, I need to like start yawning. Yeah, I've got things to do tomorrow. Tomorrow's better on a work evening. Yeah, I've got to go. I'm sick. I'm really sorry. Dad, will you come pick me up? Because I kind of need to lift home. At like 10 o'clock. Yeah. And I've done that on a few occasions. I think I've been quite lucky that I've only had maybe 2 dates, which I considered being awful. I know, but you didn't start dating till not that long ago. Yeah. And I am add like 9 years onto that. So if I go, it's like 2 or 3 every year that way. Particularly in the early Tinder days. Yeah. Or I would say from probably about
2000. Yeah. When was that flight? 2014 to, I don't know, 2016 or whatever I was using it. I dated a lot. Like, I was, like, racking it up because I was like, yeah, let's date. And then I'd be disappointed and go, I'm never dating again. And they'd be like, well, let's see.
2 weeks later, back.
2 weeks later, let's see what I'm doing. And I had some really good dates, and it taught me a lot about dating. It taught me a lot about what I wanted from people. It taught me a lot about what I thought I wanted and what kind of people I wanted. And it showed me that it's okay to date and to do those things and to see what people are like and to kind of try things on.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like apps help you try things on.
Yeah.
Like, in a way that, like, I'd say traditional dating can't, because you can kind of, because you're kind of doing a pick and mix.
Do you ever find it weird now, though, that, like, when people meet in person, or, like, they've met through, like, a friend of a friend, or at a party, or, I don't know, like, at work or something like that, that people are literally like, wow, you met them organically, and it's, like, the most unique thing now. It's the other way, because people do not expect you to meet people. Yeah. Like, in person. It's the opposite. Like, when you're like, oh, I actually met them, and they're like, no way.
I always find it funny when you see a bio or whatever and they're like, oh, we can tell them we met this way. And I'm like, well, nobody's, like, I don't feel like anyone's put like a crutch on it to go, no, you met through online.
Well, if someone would say that, I would swipe them off, because I was like, you're already ashamed of being on here. Yeah. I'm not carrying your fucking shame. Own your decisions. Yes. So I've been like that since day dot with dating, because I'm like, I haven't got time for people who don't own who they are and what they are, and it's just exhausting if people are like, well, we'll tell them about that way. I'm like, well, why? There's nothing wrong with meeting it. It's like, it's nothing bad.
I'm curious.
Okay.
What is the most repeated line you see on bios for guys?
Ooh!
Because I can tell you now, like, there's 3 things which will, like, all the time.
The photographs, we used to play a drinking game. Okay. Which was, if you see, particularly in the Lincolnshire area, a man holding a fish.
Holding a fish.
Really big fish, like, look at that giant fish. It's as big as my fucking dick. And then you have someone, like, looking at, like, or stroking, like, a tiger, or, like, a monkey, or, like, an exotic animal. We're world travellers. Yeah. And then, what was the other photo is the group photo, where they're all group photos. Yes. And you're like, well, I don't know who the fuck you are. Yeah. You're probably that one.
You're picking, mixing, going, which one of you is in all of these?
Yeah.
But I don't want to look the same as everybody.
I'm not Agatha Christie or Miss Marple. I am not Poirot, as much as he's the only man I need in my life. I'm actually reading one of his books at the moment. And I do not want to have to figure it out who you are.
The fish one makes me think weird.
That is
like, that's not a sexy animal.
No, it is the most common thing.
Exotic animal.
Genuinely.
Fair enough. But fish.
Honestly, it is such a thing. Like, they're holding this fish, like,
like, nothing against fishermen. No, but that's not a sexy animal.
It's like, look at me with my giant fish. And you're like...
Do you think it's like a hunter-gatherer thing? Where they're like, I can provide, because I can catch a fish.
Well, I don't like fish.
Maybe I need a fish on my profile.
Just don't... See,
I had a fish and I killed it.
Oh.
Purposefully.
No, you did not.
I had to.
Oh.
It was dying, so I had to euthanize my fish.
You had to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sad. Yeah. You did the right thing, though. That's what you got to do as a responsible pet owner, is know when it's time.
Know when to kill your pets.
Well. Put that on your Tinder profile. Know when to kill your pets. Like, and I haven't been on Tinder in years, because I just find it so different to what it was. And it was great for that age group. I think it is more that age group than my age group that I'm aiming for. Yeah. Oh no, the line thing. Sorry, I'll get back to the line thing. Yeah. Someone who is really sarcastically going, haha, no beards and not 6 foot, and it's like, all right, mate. I appreciate that you probably see that on people's profiles. Yeah. But don't be a dick about women saying things on your profile, because I'm just like, well, don't be a fucking dick. Yeah. No cheats, no liars. Yeah. All right, okay. Yeah. All right, chill. Just put it all out there. Save something for the date. What else is on there? There's some really good stuff that is always on there.
So I'll give you the
something. My nan says.
Oh, my nan says.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Great guy, nan says, or like a quote from my nan. Yeah. Oh, what else is it? Oh, kid's not mine, my nephew, or like my niece. That's always on there.
I always find that one kind of comforting, though.
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm just saying that one's on there. That's not a bad one. That one is comforting. Yeah. So that is an okay thing to put, and I appreciate the clarification.
I'm not going to have to ask that question
and
make it awkward.
I really like that clarification. Like, it suits me. And also put on there if it is your kid, because it's fine. Though, put it on there.
I hate how that's worded. Like, I appreciate when someone's like, I have a child.
Yeah.
But the female equivalent is, I have a child, they are my world.
Oh.
I'm like, okay.
Well, that's a lot of the time, though. I get
like,
that
I can understand a child is your world, but at the same time, I'm like, but where does that leave the person who's meant to be participating in your life?
Yeah.
You've already gone. You're unimportant.
I know. That's the thing, is like that wording is difficult, because I see that a lot, which is, oh, my baby girl's my whole world. And you're like, well, and I'm not going to lie to you. I was in a training session very recently, and the guy was talking about like personalities. It was called being like influential in the workplace. It was interesting. I feel like we had a good session. There was only a few of us there. And he was like, oh, I bet you guys, here's the thing. Do you all prefer to like give gifts or receive gifts? And the others are all like, yeah, give gifts. Yeah, give gifts. And I was like, receive. And I don't know. I've lost track of what I was saying.
That's fine.
What was it?
Children.
The children thing. I'm just thinking about myself. That's it. I'm thinking about myself. And I don't think there's anything wrong in wanting to be someone's priority for a while.
No.
I am more than okay with guys with kids, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
And I love kids. I think they're brilliant. And so long as they make me a priority at times, I'm okay with that. I'm an adult. I totally get the dynamic.
Yeah.
But don't express that I am not going to be number one at least a little bit.
Yeah. Because like by saying they're your world or saying, you know, they're my angels, it's like, okay, well, I mean, that's fair because they are your children.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how do you expect to foster a relationship?
I also feel
balance?
like expressing that kind of sentiment, I'm not great with people expressing sentiment in too much sentiment, emotion in like a profile. I know. No, in real life.
So go back 20 minutes.
No, right. Listen to what I mean.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
What I mean is in a profile.
Okay.
Don't be all like mushy gushy shit.
Yes.
In your little tiny 45 word bio.
Yeah. Okay.
Save it for when we're like connecting emotionally.
Okay.
And that's how you build a relationship. I think people have forgotten that sharing stuff is a conversation.
And part of
dating. It's part of dating, is building that kind of intimacy where you share things about yourself.
Yeah.
So share it, keep it inside.
Yeah.
To share it with that person, to build that kind of intimacy.
Yeah.
I've been talking so much with my hands that my Fitbit thinks I've just done 10,000 steps.
You're lying to your Fitbit.
Did you think it was yours?
This is why I took mine off.
I've been talking with my hands so much. Well,
it's just how you talk.
That's just how I talk.
Yeah. But so I'll tell you the female equivalent.
Oh yeah, tell me. I want to know because I don't get to see this.
So women with horses is the Lincolnshire equivalent of the men with fish. Women with there's so many horses. I didn't realise how many horses are in Lincolnshire. But everyone owns a goddamn horse.
Oh my god, that is a revelation. It's like the fish thing.
Exotic animals. They're always there. You know? And that gets coupled with loves to travel.
Oh yeah, loves to travel. Loves
need
food.
a travel partner, and I'm like, okay.
Okay.
I mean, if that's
Loves
your
traveling.
entire interest.
Love Netflix. Yeah. Really enjoy pizza. Great.
No fuck boys.
Oh.
That's on so many profiles.
Really?
Want a real man? No fuck boys. And I'm just
what a strange thing to write.
That is so blunt. Like, I can appreciate you don't want to be messed around.
Yeah, but
that's everyone. Like no fuck boys. I'm like,
right. Okay.
I think that's the same as like no cheaters. It's just they throw it on of like.
Oh man, if I had deleted all of my apps in a fit of rage through the week, I would be able to go on and we could go through it and have a look at some of them. But you know, I mean, I can download it now if you want and we can have a look. But
we won't drag through that. I mean, I'm on 2 apps at the minute.
Are you? See, I was on. In the last year.
Yeah.
Because I went through a phase of like, I had a couple of years where I was like, I'm not dating. I was tired. I was really fucking tired of it. Like, I was just sick to the back teeth of constantly meeting people and then being like, oh, actually, this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And that was on my side a lot of the time. And on occasion, it was the other side. So it's always draining. It's tiring. It's really tiring. Like, putting in a bit of emotional effort.
Yeah, definitely.
and like showering after work and making sure that you look decent. Like sometimes I think I got to a point where I was like, I'm not even fucking gonna get changed. I'm like, I'm just gonna go from work. Yeah. Because I was like, I can't be asked to invest time. And then I think I need to stop if I'm not investing anything in this. Yeah. I can't expect someone else to want to like invest time in this or to take it like at least as a, I don't know, to give me their best if I can't be asked to give mine. So I took like a couple of years out, and people were like, oh, you'll meet someone you're not looking for him. Did I fuck? I fuck?
That is the worst line, right? Because like, as you say, like you can see so many people on apps and stuff like that, and then you can go on so many dates and it doesn't work out, and it gets, it can get you down.
Yeah.
But I'm like, think how many people you meet in a day-to-day.
Oh, yeah.
Who you've met for years.
Yeah.
And how many dates have you gotten out of that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you saying, oh no, you'll not be looking for someone, you'll meet someone. Like, that doesn't work.
I saw like,
if I'm just living life, that's not going to happen.
I saw like a movie type thing, and it was like age 22. I'm going to meet someone, I'm going to go out and do this, and it's like age 29. I'm not going to meet anyone unless they come to my sofa.
Yes.
And that is honestly the God's honest truth. I was watching Amy Schumer's growing thing on Netflix, and she was like, yeah, you catch them, they're just tired now. And I thought, I'm waiting for the ones that are tired because I'm tired too, and we're just going to sit down and like watch telly together.
I saw a really creepy one which was along similar lines, but it was like, don't aim for 20-year-olds, they have too much energy. Aim for 29-year-olds because they're already laid down.
It's like, so true. Because we're like, just the energy of dating at that age is so different to what I do now. Like a lot of it is like, I can't fit it in, and you're like, well, I can meet you, like, hang on a second, let's just like match up our schedules.
I planned a date 2 months in advance with a girl. We were chatting, and it was like 2 months in advance before we even met for like coffee, and I was like, this is insane. I'm having to, like, it was part of it was because she didn't live in the city. But at the same time I was like, man, that's too, like, wow. 2 months is
a long time. It's trying to match up schedules is such a bitch sometimes. That's another thing. But so I was on, so I had that detox a little bit. I say detox, I just got off apps, which is funny. So I went old school and thought maybe I'll meet someone. Hilarious. And then I can't remember what did I go on first. I thought I'd try something different. So I was like, I'm going to go the other way. Do you know what? Maybe that's my sweet spot. I thought, right, I'm going to try Match. I'm going to pay for a service.
All right, okay.
Because I thought maybe the quality
is better
if you pay. I can confirm, Graham.
It is not.
It is not.
Okay.
And that's not to disrespect anyone who's on there at all, because there are some really nice ones. But I was getting some messages that some of them were quite funny, I'll be honest with you, like, you are as beautiful as a rose. Oh. Where are you? Why aren't you talking back to me? Well, why aren't you talking back to me? You're as beautiful as a rose. I'm like, what the fuck?
Because you opened with, you're as beautiful as a rose.
Like, and there was one about my starry eyes, and I'll be never good enough for you, and I was, the fuck? Like, but...
So why are you trying?
But there was some good dates out of that.
Okay.
Genuinely really good dates. And actually, one of them, I freaked out on the first date. I don't know what I did. Sometimes this happens to me. So I get too in my head about it, not about the date. And I'm totally fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Get on the date and I freeze.
Okay.
Which, can you imagine that happening? But I literally just shut down. So, like, I stopped doing this. Yeah. And I, it's really funny. Yeah. And I freeze. Okay. And it's just, I don't know how to come back from it because I freeze and I'm like, well, this is fucking awful. And then I think, well, I froze, so clearly there can't be anything there.
Right, okay.
And then I realised probably about a month later, I was like, no, I fucked that right up because that person was lovely.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you kind of need to maybe go back to that. And I was constructing a message and I passed it to my friend to go, what do you think? And she accidentally sent it.
Oh.
So that was something. But it was, I'd worked my way up to being like, right, I need to just say something and like reintroduce this. And then we went on another date and it was great. And then he kind of freaked out. But, you know, so.
You sound perfect for each other.
Well, I know. But he freaked out after the date and there was other things that it's his business. And I was like, really tried. And then that's when I kind of learned the value of going,
you're allowed to try and make these things work.
Yeah.
Just because something isn't immediately easy doesn't mean there isn't a value in like just putting yourself out there a bit more.
Okay.
And so that's something I learned from that, which was he was the first person that I had gone, nope, not okay, this is done, let's not see each other, where I turned around and went, actually I kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And it was a really nice second date after that. It was really good because I was like, really sorry about that was totally me, and that was shit, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. And
they were lovely about it, you know. And I think a lot of it comes back to, I remember a guy quite a long time ago who I freaked out about after like a first kind of date, as you do. So that doesn't help dating.
No.
Not because of I don't know what it is. It's just that like freezing, like, oh shit, what am I like?
Okay.
I don't know what it is. And I try to figure it out and I don't know what it is. It's that worry of their expectation of me.
Okay.
I worry that people expect too much from me. I hate expectation, which is why I don't really enjoy it when people keep paying for dates and stuff. Or like if a guy wants to pay for a date and I'm like, no, can we halvesies it? Because particularly if I think I'm not vibing with that person, I never want to feel obligated to them.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, I get that.
Ever.
Yeah.
And it stresses me out because I can remember thinking once where a guy paid for a couple of dates and I'm like, I feel like I have to go on a third date with this person.
Okay, yeah.
To the point where I'm like, do I have to actually sleep with this person? Because now I feel really obligated that I'm in this now because they've paid for things.
Yeah.
And I've lost where I was again.
Freezing on dates.
Freezing on dates. See, I'm so sorry.
I'm paying attention.
You are. I'm not paying attention to myself. I feel like this is a terrible podcast because it's just let Jenny air her feelings for like an hour.
No, that's basically what this podcast is. I mean, she's yelling at concrete.
Yeah.
I'm essentially concrete.
Whee! Perfect sounding board for me.
There you go.
Yeah, and I don't know where it comes from, but I froze on this date years ago.
Yeah.
Not so much on the date, but after. And I pushed it away. And even now, I regret that one. And this must be 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And it's sort of the person where I'm like, clearly it was not meant to be me. It wasn't meant to be me. It was meant to be this other person that they are really happy and it's great and they're lovely and, you know, it's all good. But I look back and go, you probably should have tried. Or you should have talked about it. Or you should have... I regretted it about 4 days after it.
Yeah.
But I could not bring myself to say it.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it was fear of change or fear of expectation. Like, because taking it back, I feel like also changes the expectation level as well.
Okay, yeah.
Because it goes, I am interested. But then I then feel like if I say, oh, actually, I am interested, that I can't take it back because I'm the one who said it.
If you say that as well, you kind of, you feel very exposed.
Yeah, I'm not good at that.
You're instantly going, oh, actually...
Yeah.
You might be in control of this situation.
Yeah.
And that's like a real push and pull.
Yeah, especially I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
I am like, I do not like giving up myself to things without feeling that I have control of the situation.
Yeah.
Because and that's another thing with dating, it's an unpredictable thing. You can't predict people.
Yeah.
You can't predict dates. You can't predict anything. And for me, that's really stressful. Because I like to kind of know... That's why I like to know where I stand with people.
Yeah.
What are people's expectations of me? What do they think this is? What do they think that is? And I guess for some guys, and I can totally understand why they're like, why are you pushing this? Mm-hmm. And it's not because I'm like, I need to know whether we're this, or it's going to be this, or it's going to be this, or are we going to look like this? It's not that. It's just knowing that this is where we are.
Yeah.
This is how I feel about it. And I'm like, all right, cool. If I know how they're feeling about it, I'm fine. It's just the not knowing that stresses me out so much.
I think there's a level as well. Like, I don't know if this like ranges a bunch of ages, but I feel like there's a culture of trying not to miss out.
Yeah.
On people.
Yeah.
Because you like people sit there and go, oh, you know, everyone around my age, like especially our age, is everyone's either in a relationship or they're married.
Oh god, yeah.
And the only people you see, like, why is
my
everyone
friend got engaged
single?
Literally the other day.
Yeah, you're just like, why are all the single people terrible? And you kind of sit there and you go,
am I one of those?
Am I missing out? Like, did I miss the boat? You know, was I going to do this when I was 25?
I honestly, I said that phrase I say it to my friends all the time, and they always like, oh, don't say that. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You've gone from like relationship to relationship, or you're married and things like that. And I love them all dearly, and I would never begrudge someone's relationship or anything like that. Like, I am genuinely happy that they're happy. Yeah. But you do feel like you've missed the boat. Yeah. Because dating is so awful now. Yeah. I feel like there is not a lot left.
Okay.
Which sounds horrific to say, but I can only qualify from recent experiences that when I think that something is, I'm like, nope, that's exactly what I thought. Like, my friend's husband was like, oh, maybe you're being too picky. And I was like, do you want to see what I get?
Do you want to see the curtain pulled back on what is actually happening? And I think like, that's definitely a thing.
Yeah, people, because like I, before I deleted all of Bumble and everything in a fit of rage, I messaged someone, like, one of the questions that you get. So I don't know, because we talk first, obviously. Like, I talk first on Bumble. And you get like a load of questions that you can use. And I really like them because they're like really interesting openers. And one of my favourite ones is, what's the most interesting thing you've seen or heard this week, or seen or read this week? And this guy replied, and it must have been about 10:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. Well, it's only Tuesday. Does porn count?
Yeah.
And I mean, he's not wrong. If that's what he's interested in, that's what he's interested in. But fuck me. What does he think?
Yeah.
I am going to go like, ha, that's hilarious. Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ. That's the sort of level that there is, and it's either that or I feel like there's no middle ground, because it's either people who are like expecting me to be like don't get me wrong, I would like to meet someone and see where it goes.
Yeah.
That's it. Because that is what dating is, and that is what meeting someone is that you meet someone, you hang out, and then you see what it becomes.
I think this is, in a way, like, it's weird. Not weird, but it's interesting that our generation kind of looks at apps and they're like, there's no middle ground. Like
there isn't.
We've said, like, there's no middle ground.
There isn't.
But at the same time, we fully recognise on other social media platforms that there's no middle ground. And we've known that for years because of MySpace, because of Facebook. Yep. We're like, if you go on Facebook, it's one extreme or the other. Yeah. No one's like, I'm buying milk. Yeah. You know, there's no middle ground to that. Yet when we go on dating apps, we're like, why is there no middle ground? It's like, it's just because it's social. Yeah. It's just another social platform. And I think, it falls back to that not wanting to miss out thing. Like, you've got people our age who are so on edge about it. Yeah. And then people who are younger who are like, I don't want to commit to anything because maybe there's something better. Yeah. Maybe this, I could go on that date with that girl. I could go get that first coffee. Oh, but what if there's something? It's like, you'll never know until you go on a coffee. Yeah. Whereas our age, it's like, I feel like we don't need to worry. The way I think of it is, and it may sound extremely sad, is I always think of old people. Like, super old people. Yeah. Like, in their 60s, spouse has died old people. Oh. And I'm like, they still hook up.
Yeah, they do.
You get geriatrics who are meeting people in their 60s and going, you know what, we should date.
We should totally date.
I'm like, so it's when that thing of like, people are like,
that's going to be me.
It's not my time, or we just weren't meant to be. I'm just like, that's just a silly phrase.
Yeah, no. I think of people that I've met in jobs and whatever I've done who are on a second marriage and are really happy and have built these other lives. And I'm like, you can do other stuff and you can. It's not like, people think it's this really fixed thing. It's like, you know, those tags you can put on like Bumble and stuff where it's like what you're looking for. And like, I usually put like relationship or something and then I say that and I put relationship on there. Even now I'm qualifying it because a guy reads that and go, well, she's clearly out to like lock me down and like pin me into a house and this, that. And it's like, no, but surely unless we're all on here to just meet someone, have sex and that's it, isn't that kind of the end goal for people anyway on here?
That's like, I always find it weird with functions.
Guys find it, I don't know whether guys are put off because as well, there's the other thing, which is that, like, whether you want kids or not. And I leave it off because I've noticed if you put that, you want kids, they are so weirded out by that. And it's like, again, not asking to have your children.
I leave it off as well.
It's weird, isn't it?
For a different reason.
Oh, really?
Because I've found that if it's on, it automatically gets coupled with marriage. If you're like, I want kids in the future. Yeah. There's automatically this thing of like, oh, if you want marriage, you'd be willing to get married. You just like,
What?
well, I don't particularly agree with marriage, so that's not.
Yeah, it's.
There's no equality to that.
No, it's like, yeah. Well, this is it. It's like when I say I want kids at some point, because at some point I do want children, and also I'm 29.
Yeah.
Especially
our age, yeah. It's
in
very
less
much,
than
it
10
needs to be
years,
there, yeah.
I will be a geriatric pregnancy if I have a kid in 10 years' time. Which is a weird thing to say. 37 is the geriatric pregnancy age.
Yeah.
So, at some point, I do want to have children, but that's not me going, yep, you right there, I want your babies, I want you to move. Also, like, I think people think when you put that as well, right, relationship or like that you want kids, it's just something that I want in the future.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know whether
tomorrow.
It's an economic thing, but I don't know if you find this with a lot of people we know, is that people move in together really quickly.
I have seen that, and that weirds me out.
And they move super quickly, and I'm like, oh my god, no, I love my own space. Yeah. I like the idea of having like a house next to a person.
Yeah.
Turning it into like a big giant house, but like, so we'd share like the same bedroom and stuff.
But you'd have your space.
But I would have my own living room. Where I could watch telly and have books and just be away.
Yeah. I feel like that...
Which is funny because I am quite a like tactile person, so I'm like a succubus and I'm just like, I'm going to leech on you, but then I will be like, do you know what? I need to just go be on my own for an hour.
Yeah. I feel like that's a standard thing of our age though.
Yeah.
Especially when you've been single a while. You get so used to being on your own.
Oh yeah. You're
Like,
so easy to function on your own. It's crazy to think of another person.
In a way, like it becomes like a bit of a trap for people.
Yeah.
Because I've had friends say, like, you spend so much time alone that you forget what other people are like.
Yeah.
And then if the first experience you have when you go back is a negative one, you're like,
well,
I'm better at being alone.
I am so much better. I say that all the time. I'm like, I am so good at being on my own. I'm like, well, this is easy. I'm on my own. And I'm quite happy on my own as well. I'm content in my own company.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean I don't want the company of another person, but I am content in my own company. And it freaks me out, the people who are like, oh yeah, we're just moving in together. And I'm like, you've
been doing like a month.
What? And they're like, well, it's cheaper if we do that. And it's like, I saw something and it was like a trite TV show on Netflix, but I really, really liked. So this guy was moving out of was getting evicted from this big house with apartments, and he was looking at other places to live, and he'd been with his partner, and his partner had space, but he wasn't really offering for him to like move in with him. And this guy said to him, he was like, we've only been together 6 months, I want us to be intentional. And I was like, I love that phrase.
Intentional.
I want us to be intentional.
Okay.
I want us moving in together is because we want to live together, not because you have been moved, like, economically.
Okay, like the situation
it's the situation call for it. Not because it's gone, well, it's easier, why don't you just move in with me? And then, no, I want it to be intentional. And I want that. I want it to be, we decide to move in together, me and my fictional boyfriend, when I'm 60. We'll move into a retirement home together because that's what we want to do. And
Share
also we're worried about our at that point, end days. But I just can't, I don't know, I think because the thought of giving up my own space and my own life a little bit, it stresses me out a bit. I'm fiercely independent with a lot of stuff. Yeah. But then I'm also not like...
I feel like though, like, my view of it has always been that if I found the relationship or the correct relationship sort of thing, because now, as we say, we're so cut and dry of, I do like this and I don't like this.
Yeah.
I'm always very much of the mindset of, if it's the right relationship, I wouldn't have to give any of this up.
No.
Like, I could move into a house with someone, and because of the person I'm choosing to move into, intentionally moving in with, they would understand that.
Yeah. I know, this is what I think as well.
It never pressures me at all, because I'm just like, well,
if
if that person doesn't get it, then they don't get it.
If I'm the person that I always think that, like, the person I'll end up with is the person that gets all of that. Yeah. Gets all of this.
As we say, it's like at the beginning, you shouldn't have to try to like someone.
No.
So you wouldn't have to try to get what you want.
Yeah, because they would know me.
And if you could explain it and they'd understood it, then that works.
Yeah.
That's what a relationship would be. Not, I want my own room, and then being like, what the fuck are you on about?
What the fuck do
we
you
need
want
to be in each other's space 24 hours. I'm like, yes, if we both want to die.
Yeah, like, I need, like, space. It's funny. I always see those, like, memes that are like, I want space, but I also want you to talk to me 24 hours a day and make sure, like, and I just think I am so that person, which is like, I want my own space, but I want you to never forget that I am there.
I think, as a general kind of, like, round out, I think, whilst dating changes as you go through time, definitely, especially your, like, your age groups.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we're trying to apply rules to something which actually has no rules.
Yeah.
Consistently. And that's why I feel like this is the downfall. It's like it's why you get people who are so despondent. Because they're like, oh no, it doesn't fit XYZ. And it's like, well, because there is no XYZ.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time you made a friend?
Yeah.
Like, just a friend. Met someone, got along with them, started to hang out with them, had mutual interests.
When was the last time I made a friend?
It's like, how rare is that? And then you're adding to that...
I make friends all the time. But...
sex and emotions.
Yeah.
And like,
fucking hell.
You basically just upped the percentile of going, this might not happen.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to be despondent. It's like,
maybe that's why I make friends all the time. Maybe that's why I like making friends. And not to toot my own horn, but I'm good at making friends.
Yeah.
And I enjoy meeting new people and making friends and taking them in and being a friend to someone. I enjoy it.
Like, I didn't have a choice becoming your friend.
No, I didn't. I just made you my friend.
This was not consensual friend.
Oh.
You slid into my DM.
I did. I'm sorry. It looks so fucking seedy, but it was genuinely... I remember that when you said it, I thought, yeah, I did.
Like, you
but
just
it was a
messaged me out of the blue
mistake.
and I was like, I think I know you.
But the thing is, though, I think it's because I've been talking to Mel and we talked about it, and he was like, oh, yeah, I know you. And I thought, I don't. And I remember saying that, going, I don't know you. I'm so sorry. You're not my friend yet. I think it's because I'd imagined, like, I'm going to be his friend. Like, I sort of thought, we're going to be friends. We're going to be friends, we're going to be friends. And then I just already assumed that we were friends. But aren't you my friend now?
We're friends.
See? But
yeah.
I don't know whether there is something in that where I make friends with people and I kind of put them in that, they're my friend.
Yeah.
And because that's predictable and I know what that is and I don't have to introduce any of the other things into it because that then, like, is a real minefield that I am very not good at navigating. Like, I am shit at navigating that sort of thing. Like, I know people who, like, sleep with their people in their friendship groups and I'm like, no. There is a really, like, it stresses me out. I'm like, how? How do you do that without, like, clear, like, written contracts? Like, full, like, this is who we are. This is what we're doing. This is what expected. And then I'm like, oh, brilliant. Yeah. But, like, oh, my God. It's stressful. I can't manage all of that. Oh, I envy those people a little bit because they're just like, yeah, it's great. And I'm like, oh, well, that's why I don't have sex that often.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's personality, a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like, some people can do it, disassociate from it.
Yeah.
And just carry on. And some people can't.
Yeah.
And as long as both of you are on the same page.
Yeah,
you're
I
fine.
think that's much easier.
Like,
it's when it's like a blurred line and it's not good.
If both of you are like, no, I can't deal with the overlapping emotions, it's like, cool, don't have sex.
Yeah,
just
don't do
sex.
it. Just don't do it.
Whereas if both of you are like, yeah, I could probably do that and it wouldn't affect my day, it'd just be a perk. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, cool, do it.
Do it.
But if there's any blurred line,
do not
it's
do just... it.
Sex will just make it awkward.
It just makes it... Oh, I was going to say... it's
just going to make life harder.
It does. It makes life harder because it blurs the line and you both don't know how to navigate it.
Yeah.
Because one of you would be like... Because I would think, I just want it to be not awkward. Yeah. So I would desperately try and make it not awkward.
It more awkward in that sense.
But then if that person is then like, oh, well, this is awkward. And I'm like, oh, shit, we've ruined a friendship. Oh, God, I've ruined my life. This is it. I can never hang out with these people. And it's probably fine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I overreact to things.
But you do.
All the time. I overreact constantly. But I'm okay with that. That's just who I am.
We need a message to end this on. If we can message the dating world in Dating 103 of how to date, what is the clue?
If I knew the answer to that, I probably wouldn't be on this podcast, would I? I'd have dated.
I'm not saying like the clue to get a relationship.
Oh.
I think it's because this is dating 101. Yeah. This isn't marriage 101.
No, oh my God, no. Jesus Christ.
I
am the least marriage material person ever. I
feel like the way to navigate dating.
Yeah.
On either side.
Yeah.
Men, women.
Yep.
Whatever you're looking for is just be completely clear.
Yeah.
So like if you you can put whatever you want on your profile.
Yeah.
But when you're actually talking to a person,
yeah,
just make it clear.
Yeah.
You know, if there's any moment where you like they might be going in a different direction to me,
yeah,
you can just lay it out and be like, so, you know, what are you looking for?
Yeah.
Or what am I looking for? And then it just opens that conversation. And if they don't respond to that, they're probably not in the right situation to deal with you anyway.
Yeah. I think that I agree with, which is be clear about what you want.
Yeah.
And don't be offended if someone doesn't want the same things as you.
Yeah.
Don't take it personally. I've learnt that, which is you try really hard not to take it personally. Yeah. I've learnt pretty well. I don't take most things personally. I'm pretty good at it now. There are a couple of things that I think, it was personal. It was quite not nice to hear or anything. But generally, they're just, people are trying their best. And if they're expressing something that they want or that they feel, you have to respect that.
I feel like you have to just, you can't take their reactions personally either.
No.
Because it's that kind of weird thing of you can't account for what any one person is going through. So if someone reacts super negatively towards you, it's like, cool, cut them off.
Yeah.
Don't deal with it in that way, but they're clearly not on the same level as you.
Yeah, and then that's not going to work, is it? Because that's not what...
Whereas if you're both super negative, then cool, go out, just have angry sex.
Just be angry. Just be angry at everything.
If both of you don't care, it's probably never happened.
Yeah, well...
But again, I think it's just keep it clear.
Keep it clear. And I think be open about it. Like, be open to stuff.
Yeah.
Don't cut yourself off the knees going, I want this, and I want that, and I need this, and I need that. Because that will probably develop out of the first couple of dates that you're not on the same page. But you kind of need to have those first dates because you don't know that you might meet someone who is great. Yeah. And you're like, oh, those things that I thought I wanted actually kind of don't matter because this person's really funny, or this person has actually got this great personality, or something that makes you go, I want to see that person again. Yeah. Don't cut yourself off at the knees by imposing a lot of expectations and things. Like, I'm not saying don't date someone who's like the complete opposite of everything. There are limits. Not have a
standard of what you would like to see.
I think have your standards, but be open about what comes your way. Yeah. I think that's probably the best thing.
No rules. No expectations.
But be clear.
Just be people. Be actual human beings.
Oh, human decency is lacking in dating sometimes.
It is. But I think that's...
Let's not end on that,
That's due to internet.
Yeah, let's not end on that one, though.
Internet ruins everything.
Well...
let's end on that one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming, Jen.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm sure we'll have you back next year.
Yeah. In a year's time.
Done books, done dating.
I ain't got anything else. Well, who knows?
I don't know. Dog ownership? There we go.
The dream.
We'll end on that. And we'll talk to you guys later. Dog ownership 101.
Oh my god. I would love to get a dog.